Alrighty, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege to welcome you all to the 31st Annual Connecticut Women's Basketball Hall of Fame Banquet. 31 years. My name is Marge Dolan, and I am humble and honored to be the Hall of Fame Executive Committee representative at the podium tonight. We have all worked all year for this night, and I think we've planned a really great program for you all. To start the evening off, I'd like a show of hands of how many of those of you are here for the first time. Raise your hands. Great, thank you. How many of you have been here, we'll say, more than half the time, 15 times at least? Raise your hand. And how many of you have never missed a banquet? Raise your hands. Oh, Tony, of course you haven't. I want to thank all of you for your continued support, and we hope that some of you first-timers start to edge your way up into the 10th time, 11th time coming here. As supporters of women's basketball here in Connecticut, with the Yukon Huskies and the Quinnipiac Bobcats' success in the Division I NCAA, isn't it sensational to be here in Connecticut? I think so too. For those of you who are first-timers, I want you to know that there's a piece of history displayed tonight. In the back, in the corner over there, you will see a 1920 basketball uniform that was donated for our use tonight by Richard Butler, the owner. The person who actually wore it was Rosemary Gannon, who was born in 1901 in Massachusetts, and she wore that as her physical education uniform and as her basketball uniform when she played at Smith College in 1920. In addition, there is a 1910 basketball owned by another collector of basketball history, one of our own Hall of Famers and committee members, Dave Strong. So take a look as you're going, oh, that's about as high as you could actually shoot the ball, Linda. Good job. She scored 4 points her entire high school career. Way to go. I don't know if that puts you into the Hall of Fame yet. In addition, one of our founders, Tony Candido, is walking around and he is selling our 50-50 raffle tickets as the night progresses. For all of you to know, this is a real important fundraiser for the Hall of Famer. So please consider being very generous, buy lots and lots of tickets, and you will be rewarded. At least one of you will be rewarded. So that some of you who haven't been here have an idea of how this evening will progress, we'll try to hear about 3, maybe 4 individuals before the main course is served. And then after dinner, we'll hear from the others. So please enjoy the pasta and the salad as we move through the program right now. What's really, really, really important to make things go smoothly is to make sure you have these very valuable meal tickets at your place. The waitstaff will not be able to put a meal in front of you unless you have it. So before the main course, I was actually a little verklempt about it because I couldn't find mine. I'm like, I'm not even going to be able to eat. So make sure you have your meal ticket in front of you at all times. So with all the housekeeping matter completed, without any further delay, let me begin the program. First, it is my pleasure to introduce all of the Hall of Famers who have come back tonight to watch the induction of the class of 2018. I would ask that the audience hold your applause, and I'd ask that all the Hall of Famers stand and remain standing until the last Hall of Famer is announced. Tracy Claxton, high school player, 1988. Bernice Nicolari, high school. What table is that? Non-compliance, here we go. That's all right, the left-hand side took hours to get ready. Stand up. That a girl. Louise Albrecht, referee, 1989. Cindy Adamski, referee, 1990. Anne Marie O'Doy, high school player, 1991. Jody Rachela, college player, 1991. Celeste Beatty, honorary, 1992. Marge Dolan, referee, 1993. Sue Crisafi, high school player, 1994. Joanne Galati, honorary, 1995. Becky Strominger, referee, 1995. Lynn Spagnisi, college player, 1998. Kristen Anderson Rapilia, high school player, 1998. Laura DeGennaro, high school player, 1999. Tracy Feiner, college player, 2000. Eleanor Turner, high school coach, 2002. Patty Ferraro, college player, 2002. David Strong, high school coach, 2004. Tony Candido, referee, 2004. Tina Gagne, high school player, 2004. Chris Webster, high school coach, 2007. Paul Kolnaski Solar, high school coach, 2006. Candy Perez, honorary, 2008. Tammy Chapman, honorary high school player, 2009. Bob Myers, referee, 2009. Pam Maffo, high school coach, 2010. Patty Fernandez, referee, 2010. Lauren Anderson, honorary, 2010. Meg Winfield, high school player, 2010. Laura Listless, college player, 2011. Kate Mullen, college coach, 2011. Bill Fortin, high school coach, 2011. Elaine Piazza, high school player, 2012. Pearl Piper, high school coach, 2012. Linda Durga, referee, 2012. Nick Chaconis, high school coach, 2013. Karen Drogan, high school player, 2013. Dave Grossman, referee, 2015. Jim Bombasi, high school coach, 2015. Judy Ruthka, referee, 2017. Bill Dixon, honorary, 2017. And Fred Williams, high school coach, 2017. These are our present Hall of Famers. A nice round of applause. And you may be seated. Thank you. And now I would like to introduce the class of 2018 inductees. And you don't have to hold your applause this time. Heather Buck, high school player, Stonington High School. Cindy Birdsey, referee. Melissa Teal, college player, Westcon. Ann Kerwin Anderson, college player. Anthony Floyd, high school coach. Barbara H. Thaxton, honorary. And Sarah Royal, high school player, Torrington High School. if you would, you can all be seated. Thank you. You bow our heads for the invocation. We gather together in joyous celebration and honor of these outstanding individuals who, through their athletic talents, their leadership, have brought many honors to their community, their families, and themselves. We thank these individuals for teaching other life lessons: to play hard, to win with humility, to lose with dignity, to officiate with impartiality, to show the world what sportsmanship truly is. Bless us all gathered here tonight in friendship and in fun. Amen. And now it is my pleasure to introduce to you one of our founders of the Hall of Fame, Dr. Ann Ferris.
Thank you, Marge. Tonight I'm honored to introduce Barbara Hall and Lee Dixon, who will be receiving the Landmark Award from the Connecticut Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, and this is the first time this award has ever been given. The text I will convey was written by Bernice Nicolari, and she was a 1988 Hall of Fame recipient, inducted as a high school coach, and is with us tonight. She was thrilled to write their story, letting everyone know what actually happened in 1974, not what people thought or heard, which was that this experience was smooth and easy. It was not, in spite of all the misinformation, gossip, and rumors. Throughout this experience, Bernice had befriended Barbara and Lee and had admired them for their grandeur and their strength. These were Bernice's words. Like the founders of the Connecticut Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, who led the nation in recognizing and honoring women's athletic achievements, Lee Dixon and Barbara Hall, to my left, led not only the state but also the nation in a federal lawsuit challenging the systematic inequality that women athletes and coaches face despite Title IX. This lawsuit, filed in 1974, sought to mandate the actual implementation of Title IX, which was being ignored in many school systems throughout the country, including right here in our own state of Connecticut. In deciding not to be silent, Barbara Hall and Lee Dixon risked their coaching as untenured Connecticut teachers. For 4 long years, the United States District Court Civil Action B-7741 wound its way through the courts until in 1978, the decision came down in favor of the plaintiffs and thus in favor of all women in the state of Connecticut. Women in 49 remaining states used the Dixon Hall lawsuit as a guidebook for their own lawsuits to gain the same victory. But it started here in Connecticut, and it started with 2 young women in the Stratford school system who had the courage to risk everything to speak in court for all women. You have to stand up for what you believe in, said Barbara Hall, and have the courage to risk everything for what is right. These words should be engraved in stone. The poet Marianne Rodmacher reminds us that courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes courage is the quiet voice at the end of the day saying, "I will try again tomorrow." Two young Connecticut women, untenured teachers, fledgling coaches, use their quiet voices of courage to challenge in court the status quo and change for all time in Connecticut and throughout the nation how society must, by law, view women. Equal terms and conditions, the court ruled, regardless of the group, and that changed everything. To have such women among us, 2 quiet voices of courage, honors all women here tonight and honors the Connecticut Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. Will Barbara and Lee please come forward? And Barb and Bernie, thank you for your wonderful words.
The Hall of Fame has created an award to honor one of our founders, Brenda Riley. Brenda definitely was one of a kind. When she was alive, she refused any attempt to honor her many accomplishments, and there were many. Her passion was for all girls and women to have the opportunity to experience all the lessons sports had to offer with no obstacles. With this award, we hope to keep her passion alive. This award's name is the Brenda Riley Outstanding Team Award. This recognizes the outstanding girls' high school basketball team in Connecticut. This award is sponsored by Central Connecticut State University women's basketball team. And I'm happy to announce that this year's recipient is Mercy High School. You can make your way as I speak, sure. Mercy High School girls basketball team captured the Connecticut Class LL State Championship and earned a #1 ranking in the state. The Tigers capped an incredible 27-1 season by starting the postseason with 3 victories to capture the SCC tournament crown. Coach Tim Coe's second-seeded Tigers then added 5 straight victories through the Class L state bracket, capping a 49-37 win over Hall High School. After defeating Cheshire in the first round, Mercy went on to defeat Stamford, Norwalk, and 2-time FCAC and 2017 runner-up Trumbull High School to reach the finals. Congratulations to Coach Tim Coes, his staff, and the Mercy team. Accepting the award is Coach Coes and senior Megan DeVille, who was a 3-year starter and named to the New Haven Register and Connecticut High School Coaches Association All-State team. She finished her career with over 1,000 points and 750 rebounds. Presenting the award will be Hall of Famer and women's head basketball coach at CCSU, Pearl Piper. Congratulations, Mercy High School. Sure. We'll get you at least take a picture from there. Yeah, you can wave to the camera. There you go. Photo bomb. All set? Yep. And being a Mercy graduate of the class of 2000, of the class of 1970, and all right back there. I'm especially proud. Go Tigers. We have one more award that we would like to present. This award is called the Brenda Riley Memorial Camp Scholarship. Each year, the Hall of Fame selects a young up-and-coming student to attend a basketball camp to develop her skills and expand her knowledge of the game. This year, Natalie Green is our selection. Natalie is a 2nd grader at Bethany Community College, Community School. Yeah, and I graduated in 2000. She participated in the Bethany Recreation Basketball League. Her coach shared that she's improved both offensively and defensively. Natalie says she wants to learn how to score when you're being guarded by a person bigger than you. And the next question is, how do you stop someone who is bigger than you? And her last question is, how do you get boys to pass the ball to you when you play in a co-ed team? Natalie, we could have a whole night discussion on that. Natalie will be attending the Tricia Fabriz basketball camp at Quinnipiac University this summer. To present the award is our executive director and one of our founders, Linda Worcester. Congratulations. That is so adorable. And now it is time to present the candidates for formal induction into the Connecticut Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. Would all the present Hall of Famers please stand and remain standing as I present to you this year's inductees. Heather Buck, high school player. Cindy Birdsey, referee. Melissa Teal, college player. That is a first. Ann Kerwin Anderson, college player. Anthony Floyd, high school coach. Barbara H. Thaxton, honorary. Sarah Royal, high school player. These candidates have distinguished themselves through excellence, have brought acclaim, honor, and distinction to the Connecticut Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, and have met all the criteria for induction. The 7 of you now stand together with all of these Hall of Famers present tonight. As the spokesperson for the Hall of Fame and the Executive Committee, you are hereby inducted into the Connecticut Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. Congratulations to you all. You all may be seated. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Pam Moffo, a member of our Executive Committee, who will introduce our first inductee. Pam.
Good evening, everybody. May I be the first among many to congratulate and welcome our newest inductees. Well done, folks. May I also just take a moment to tell you that not only have I been made very proud by this hall with their welcoming induction of me some years ago, but then to be asked to be able to serve some role to help with the executive team is truly an honor. So I would like to be able to use that for just one moment to tell you that I know that you are here for a special someone, most of you. And that's fantastic, or maybe more than someone, but there is someone probably special here for you. I encourage you not to miss all the chapters in the story that you're going to hear tonight. And it's an important story, because remember, you're sitting in a place where 31 years ago, people started something that had not been done in the entire United States. An opportunity to reflect and to honor those people who not only have exceeded all, expectations of them, perhaps as players and coaches, but have made the sport better, to honor the sport. So I encourage you, listen to all the chapters in the story tonight. Chapter 1. Heather Buck had an incredible career at Stonington High School, scoring 2,205 career points. The disappointment of a Class M runner-up finish in 2005 fueled Heather's team to the 2006 championship, beating 2 consecutive undefeated teams on their way to the title. A 4-time All-State selection, 2-time Connecticut High School Coaches Player of the Year, 2-time Connecticut Gatorade Player of the Year, and 3-time All-American First Team selection. In addition, she was also honored by multiple newspapers with Player of the Year honors. Heather continued her career at the University of Connecticut, where she was a member of their national championship teams, not just once in 2009 or even twice, again in 2010, but for a 3rd time in 2013. Quite a career. it is my pleasure to introduce to you our first inductee tonight, Heather Buck.
Hi. First, I just want to give a huge thank you to the Connecticut Women's Basketball Hall of Fame for this great. Sorry, that's my mom. So I have to listen. First, just a huge thank you to the Connecticut Women's Basketball Hall of Fame for this huge honor and for putting on this fantastic celebration tonight. I know that I would not be standing here without the support of my family, always encouraging me to be better. My parents will be the first to say that they were never sports people, but they absolutely fully embraced everything that this crazy life brings with it. And my entire family, my parents, both of my grandmothers, and my older brother Matthew were fixtures at every single game all throughout high school and even beyond. They spent years rearranging schedules and trekking all around the state, around New England, and eventually around the country to be at practices and games and whatever else was involved. And they always did it all with a smile on their face. So I really can't thank them enough for all of that. But like I said, they were never sports people. So it was, and I really, truly was pretty terrible when I first started playing. So without a lot of coaching and a lot of guidance, there's no way that I would have been able to reach these kinds of milestones. And Coach Solar in particular took me under her wing at a very early age, and she taught me so much, not only about basketball, but about hard work and dedication and perseverance, and how to be a better person. I really am very lucky to have had her as my coach and now to have her as a friend. And although this honor is in recognition of my high school days, we did in college, we had a shirt that remains one of my favorite shirts that says on the back, chase perfection, catch excellence. And from the time that we got it, and even now, I've always felt that it really captured what I've tried to do from the second that I started playing competitively to the moment that I started playing much less frequently. And so I just try and continue to do that every day in my continued rest of my life. So thank you again for this great honor, and congratulations to my fellow inductees.
And she has selected as her presenter this evening her Stonington coach and fellow Hall of Famer Paula Solar, whom Heather calls someone I've looked up to and been able to rely on being there for me. And it's great to have her former players presenter here. Please welcome Paula. Thank you. Okay, so Heather, let me make sure I got this right because I like that. Chase excellence, no, chase perfection, catch excellence. All right, now look at that. And it's only chapter 1. Good job, Heather, way to go. Okay, chapter 2. Remember, as you're going through the book, some small things can be the biggest surprise of all. Cindy Birdsey. Cindy Birdsey's father taught his daughter to play basketball because guess what, you guys? There were no sports offered for girls at Maloney High School in Meriden, or dare I say at any other high schools around here that I can remember. She expanded her athletic talents at Southern Connecticut State College, where she was a member of the field hockey, basketball, and track teams, before she returned to Maloney to teach physical education and coach softball and soccer. Cindy officiated high school and college basketball for 13 years, and boy, don't we need great officials. Always. Her distinguished career included working Connecticut high school championship games, a full schedule of collegiate games throughout Connecticut, a Division I regional final, and an Ivy League championship. Ladies and gentlemen, a great ref, Chapter 2, Cindy Birdsey.
Hello. I would first like to congratulate all of the inductees and their families for this great honor. A special thanks to my family, who had a lot of late meals and early meals and takeout meals while Mom was driving all over the state officiating basketball games. Thank you for your tolerance. I love you very much. Also, a special thanks to the person or persons responsible for me being here tonight. I want you to know that I'm very honored and very happy to be part of this program. I'm not done. Oh. I love most sports, but I really love basketball. And some of you may have noticed I got a little more miles on me than the rest of them. And it is true, I predate Title IX. But don't feel sorry for me. I am just so thrilled at where women's sports are today. But my father did teach me how to play basketball in the backyard, one-on-one. While I was playing basketball, my father was playing rugby. My mother was in the kitchen saying a rosary, because my dad was a tough guy. And one of the things he taught me was, you play with your feet, not with your mouth. And I carried that with me through a lot of things. And my father never fouled. But anytime he missed a shot or lost the ball, I fouled him. So I just gave him the ball and moved on. I did have the opportunity to play a little bit at the girls' club, and I was very grateful for that. Even though there wasn't a lot of coaching going on, I still had the opportunity to be off the backyard and actually on a court. My real true introduction to basketball, structured in coaching, was when I went to Southern Connecticut and played for Louise O'Neill, who's a great coach and a great mentor and an even better person. I really owe her a lot. Excuse me. I got into officiating because my friend Brenda Riley was a basketball official, and she said, you really should get into officiating. I said, okay, and if anybody who knew Brenda knew that she was very detailed and very prepared. And the next thing I know, I had a rule book in my hand. I was going to scrimmages, and I was getting rotated in, and she was telling me, don't look here, look there, run there, and how to administer the fouls and the violations and the hand signals and the whole thing. And before I knew it, I had my certification, and I went to my first paying job at the American School for the Deaf in West Hartford. I believe it was in West Hartford. And I said, how am I supposed to, what's with the, they said, they'll explain it to you when you get there. So I go there, and they said, you don't blow the whistle, you give a series of sharp tweaks. They feel the vibration, they will stop, they will turn and look at you. Now remember, sign language is big here, so make sure your hand signals, they know them, so make the right call, and everything will go smoothly. And they were right. But I did, on one occasion, learn the sign language for you missed the call, which is the index finger in the head going back like this, back and forth. No, but they were terrific athletes, they were great sports, and I'm going to tell you, it was a really, really good place to start, because it really made me emphasize my hand signals, because you don't really have to say much. You just make sure you call it fair, just make the call. Don't accuse anybody, don't take anything personally, just make the call. And as my father would say, just move on. Excuse me. So I have to, right from there, I because I was a low man on the totem pole, I was driving to the far edges of Connecticut to do games. And I remember, and I'm glad you're all sitting, The fee for officiating a basketball game was $7. 7. I got more for mileage than I got for actually doing the game. I got $8 and change for the miles, and I got $7 for the game. Actually, I was talking to Tony Candido when I got out here, and I almost fell over when he told me what they're getting now. But again, don't feel sorry for me. I'm not here for pity. So and I was a low man on the totem pole, so I expected this. So I just worked my way up. I went where they told me to go, and I started getting games closer to where I lived, and I was getting more games and better games and doing college games. And I have to tell you, I totally enjoyed it. I was with the game I loved. I had the best seat in the house. I was getting my exercise, and they were giving me money. So even though it did go up from $7. So I'm thrilled to be here. Again, I thank the Connecticut Women's Basketball Hall of Fame for including me, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.
Cindy's presenter, but I'm still going to do a shout out for Evan, okay? Because her grandson, Evan, not only is a soccer player, but he is a certified soccer referee. You go, Evan. But Evan is busy, and he's only 14. Unbelievable. So, but unfortunately, Evan couldn't be here, and so in his stead, we're delighted to have her daughter, Sarah. Sarah is the presenter tonight. They're doing it from up above. As we look forward to the next one, I'm hoping as you're sitting there now, seriously, you can remember who was the first one, the second, and now we get ready for chapter 3. Melissa Teal. Melissa had an amazing career at Western Connecticut State University, where she still holds records for most career rebounds with 1,052. That's a lot of rebounds. And block shots with 367. An All-American in 2011. She was the first ever Western player, and that's male or female, to record over 1,000 points and 1,000 rebounds. Wow. Unbelievable. Nicely done. In addition, she was named the All-Met Division III Co-Player of the Year, the New England Women's Basketball Association Player of the Year, and was included on both the Division III ECAC and Northeast Region first teams. The distinction of being the first Little East Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year in the same season belongs to our new inductee, Melissa Teal. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Melissa.
Hi. All right. I'm going to do what Heather did. All right. First of all, I would like to give all glory to God, who has guided me through every step of my life. I would like to thank Jody and the committee members for considering me worthy of this honor. Something that I have learned from many of the people sitting in this very room is that life is about honor, and in that spirit, I would like to take this opportunity to thank some of the amazing people in my life. Please know that I think all of you deserve a standing ovation. To my friends, teammates, WCSU family, and extended family, your friendship means the world to me. When I look back on some of my favorite memories, you guys were there, pushing me, supporting me, and always loving me. Your friendship has been the foundation for so much of who I am, and I thank you. To my coaches, from middle school to college, and every coach and mentor in between, I literally would not be standing here without you. Through basketball, you have taught me so much about life and about myself, and I will forever be thankful for that. I would especially like to thank Coach Ribzik, and I don't really think I truly understood how much I appreciated her till one night years ago when I was watching the ESPYs. And I was listening to one of my favorite players, Candace Parker, talk about Pat Summitt, and the way she so perfectly articulated how she felt about her coach resonated with me so much that I called her in the middle of the night to just thank her and tell her how thankful I was for having her in my life. You truly were a mom away from home. My mom literally said, Melissa, don't cry. Sorry. You really were my mom away from home throughout my college years. I've never had someone believe in me the way that you do. And I say do present tense because you've never stopped believing in me, even in my adulthood. You support me in ways I will forever be thankful for. To my sisters, my best friends, Brittany and Kelsey, you guys get me like, it's my girl, get me like no one else in this universe, and I love you so much. Thank you for loving me despite how controlling and psychotic I can be, and for always letting me vent. I acknowledge it. All right. To my set of parents, thank you for all the countless hours you put into coming into games and driving me to practices and buying me new sneakers and sending me more money when I spent all my meal money. Thank you for being the best support system a girl could ask for. I love you, and I'm so thankful that God decided I was worthy enough to be your daughter. But I would especially like to thank my mom, who is the rock of who I am. I think about a time in my life when we would argue over the littlest things, especially how calm she was after I lost a game. She literally would say, well, Melissa, there's a winner and a loser. And it would infuriate me because she knew how much I hated losing. But I'm so thankful that you were always that calm. You were my lighthouse in every storm, and I love you beyond words. As I look around this room and I see people who have loved and supported me in every stage of my life, I wondered what the heck was I going to say when I got up here. So as I often do in real life, I pulled inspiration from my students to write this. So I gave my students the writing prompt. If you had the opportunity to speak in front of a large audience, what would your message be? And what would you have to say to the world? And my students' answers varied from messages of equality and peace to messages about why they wish we had more technology to even why the guac at Chipotle should be free. And as I listened to my students' answers, I was reminded why I became a teacher in the first place, and suddenly I knew what my message would be. It was so important to be a light in this world, the importance of listening to other people and understanding the struggles of other people. Being a light in a world that often seems so dark, being a reminder for people who often feel like they are surrounded by despair. When I was 15, I discovered my favorite quote from one of my favorite authors, Henry David Thoreau. And in the most commonly used version of this quote, he is paraphrased to remind us to go confidently in the direction of our dreams and to live the life we imagined. But that's not all that's actually written in that passage. In chapter 18 of Walden, Thoreau states, if one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will be met with success in unexpected and common hours. He will put some things behind, will pass an invisible boundary, new, universal. If you have built castles in the air, your work need not be lost. That is where they should be. Now put the foundations under them. I want to thank everyone in this room who has built the foundation for me so that I could build my castles in the sky. And because of you, my castles are surrounded by dragons and fairies and protected with the shield of love. And if I could leave you with anything, it's a reminder to continue to be the foundation for others so that they can live out their dreams and build their castles in the sky. Thank you.
Beautifully said. And Melissa is yet again honoring her college coach by having her be her presenter. And so we welcome Kim Ribsick to the podium. She's the one who always pushed Melissa out of her comfort zone, inspired her to be the woman she is today. And now Melissa is in fact very proud to be a member of her coaching staff at Western Connecticut. You know, it's funny, but I'm sure my husband is wondering, he was probably praying when the song started that all of a sudden I didn't like zip in. That was hard for me not to do that, but with the microphone. So I was like mumbling at Nick so that it wouldn't be overpowering. Happy birthday. I'll tell you, there's no doubt, besides enjoying this wonderful food, that you are well into the story of this evening's inductees. It's beautiful, and hopefully you feel as proud and as moved as we all do sitting up here. And so it's with that spirit that we move on to the next chapter. After an outstanding career at Daniel Hand High School, Ann Anderson took her talents to Bucknell University. She became the first female player to score 1,000 points and graduated as Bucknell's record holder with 1,343 points. Ann still holds a spot on the all-time list in points, rebounds, blocked shots, free throws attempted, and free throws made. Well-rounded. Her 36 points against Towson was both a Bucknell and ECC record at the time. A two-time captain at Bucknell, she scored her 1,000th career point at an awesome place. I was so excited when I read this, the Palestra in Philadelphia. Very cool. Ann earned dual degrees in international relations and Spanish from Bucknell and a Fulbright scholarship to study in Costa Rica. Awarded the Eleanor Decker Prize as Bucknell's Woman of the Year, Ann is also a member of Phi Beta Kappa. No doubt, we've got an interesting chapter to follow. Please welcome Ann Kerwin Anderson.
Well, first of all, you can definitely tell the generational differences between college player me and college player Melissa, because she used her iPad, and I don't have one of those, and I have 48-point font, and just in case, I have the cheaters. So, we're gonna try without the cheaters. So first of all, I wanna thank everyone for coming. I am incredibly humbled to be a part of this amazing class of 2018 inductees. And I would like to first offer my congratulations to Sarah, Barbara, Tony, Melissa, Cindy, and Heather. And we get to share this great honor, so it's very special. Thank you to the committee for selecting me to be a new member of the Connecticut Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. My deepest appreciation also goes out to Jim Bombassi, who will be my presenter this evening, and also for sharing so many basketball memories together over the past 39 years as both a player at Daniel Hand High School and as a member of your coaching staff at Haddam Killingworth. While the championships won and milestones attained are obvious highlights, as I reflect back on our time together brought about by this game that we love so much, it is thoughts of the long treks through the snow for scouting every possible state tournament opponent, because you can't leave any stone unturned, sweltering afternoons at fundamental basketball camp at Mitchell College, and making those elaborate banquet videos. Also, all of those also bring back very fond memories. I would also like to thank all of my family and friends who supported my basketball dreams over the years, many of whom are here tonight, some having traveled from out of state, and I am so grateful for your love and support. Having the blessing of being involved in this wonderful sport for so long, I have had the opportunity to participate on different levels, as a player, a coach, and a parent. One observation that shines through clearly to me is that when young women have supportive coaching and positive role models, the sky is the limit. So for all of you coaches out there tonight and future coaches in attendance, thank you. Thank you from my younger self as a player, myself as a parent, and as a fellow coach. You have the power to empower and make a lifelong impact on these young women and the future leaders that they have the potential to become in our community. When my own kids, sitting right here in the front, began participating in organized sports, I thought, what would be the one thing that I would want them to remember as they take the court or the field prior to every game? Now, with 5 kids playing multiple sports, I had to keep this brief, obviously. So I thought, what would sum up how I want them to compete each and every day? The phrase I coined has stuck still to this day, and it is simply to play hard and have fun. I continue to try to instill that in them every day. And that is how I approached my basketball career that took me from Daniel Hand High School in Madison to Bucknell University in Pennsylvania, to Germany, and back to the sidelines in my roots, the Shoreline Conference. So thank you, basketball, for the gift of an amazing life of experiences and relationships that I will cherish forever. Thank you.
Beautifully said. And as she mentioned, let's welcome up here one of our Hall of Famers, Jim Bombassi, to present her award. And as Ann said, she has shared some of her most special memories with Jim, both as a member of his team and of his coaching staff. Congratulations. So hopefully you, this time also afforded you a moment or two to interact with some of the others, meet up with old friends, and what we all feel and hope will become some of your new friends. Nothing would make us happier than to see you all come back every year to help us celebrate and welcome new family members. Okay, so now if you're keeping track out there, hey, we just took a little break from our reading, bite to eat. But now we're back. Chapter 5, my friends. Chapter 5. Who better to fill that spot than this gentleman? Tony Floyd has some people, spend time at their practices preparing cheering squads. I don't know, Coach Floyd. Tony Floyd has called Bristol Eastern High School home since his days as a student began in 1970. Hired by former coach and athletic director and one of our own here at the Hall of Fame, Joanne Galati, yes? Okay, you got the cheering for her too. Nice, Tony. Joanne selected Tony to succeed her. And since then, Tony has led Bristol Eastern to a record of 536 wins against only 290 losses. In addition to a number 13 national ranking in 1987, 4 state championships over his years, and 13 conference titles. In the past 35 years, I'm sure Joanne couldn't have pictured it to be any better. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tony Floyd.
Wow. My voice is a little hoarse because I had a track meet yesterday and I was doing a lot of yelling. I'm truly honored to be here tonight. I would like to thank the selection committee and the Connecticut Women's Basketball Hall of Fame for the honor and congratulate my inductees. When I started coaching, I was a young man with black, big afro, a Fu Manchu and mustache. And now I'm standing here with short gray hair, no mustache, and readers. First, I would be here today without the support of my parents, Jacob and Elizabeth Floyd. They are not here today, but they're here with me in spirit. They gave me guidance throughout the years. They taught me about good values and strong work ethic and respect the others. I want to thank my family, my brothers, Dwight and Dennis, and his wife, Joanne, my sister, Annette, and her husband, Danny, that's here tonight, my sister, Patty. They have always been there for me with great advice and a shoulder to lean on. I also want to thank my son and daughter, Michael and Amy, that are here tonight. They have always been there throughout my years of coaching. My nieces, my nephews, my granddaughters, Haley and Isabella, that are not here tonight because they're so young, with a twinkle in their eyes when they enter the gymnasium to watch a game. My biggest supporter is Terry. She has been there through thick and thin, late practices, cold meals, all the wins and losses, and one consistent is her positive attitude at all times. She is my rock. I would like to thank Joanne Galati. She gave me the opportunity to coach in Bristol and teach at Eastern High School at a tender age of 22. Not that anymore. She was always supportive. I've had pleasure to working with Pam Moffel, Nick Moffel, in my first All-Star Girls Basketball Camp. That was interesting. And I want to thank them for giving me a good insight of coaching. I would like to thank Gino Ariama, Chris Daly for giving me the opportunity at the UConn camps and also introducing me to Nan Elrod from the WBCA, which is called the Women's Basketball College Association, who selected me to serve as an All-American Selection Committee. Nan gave me another opportunity to work at WCA Top 100 camps and working with some of those top college coaches and high school coaches in the country. I'm very proud of my association with the Bristol Eastern coaching staff and players. They are my family away from home. I would like to thank all my players from all my teams for the support and the commitment and the passion that they had. I would like to thank my state championship teams, 1983, 87, 90, and 91. They still fight about who's the best. See what I mean? For the great seasons and also the teams that won the league championships and all the other teams for every year. All this wouldn't be possible without the help of coaching staff at Bristol Eastern High School. And one of the main men was Jim Tetreault, helped and guided me and has always kept me very organized and on task. Jim is here tonight and has always been my #1 supporter and a great fan. I'm grateful for the Eastern staff, Mike Green, Bob Rottler, Dave Mills, Jack Crampins, and Marty Setter, and Billy Sweet, who has always been great supporters of mine. I started coaching and still is today. The boys basketball coach, Mike Giovinazzo, has been a great mentor for me when I first started out as a young kid. He has always been there willing to help me with excellent advice and the knowledge. I would also like to thank the current boys basketball coach, Bunty Ray, and the other members of the boys coaching staff. Throughout the years, I've had loyal and committed girls coaching staff. I want to thank Gary Fleming, Joe Monet, Pat Tomkill, Gil Erickson. Pat Tomkill is Johnson now. I have to put that in there, I'm sorry. Who has helped me set the foundation of my program in the early years. I also want to thank Mike Stokes, Mark Camden, and their dedication and support, always closely with me, working closely with me, I'm sorry. There has been many other coaches in the program I have been blessed to work with, and a few of them are Carl Hall, Vinny Gorda, Mike Jesse, and many others. There have been many others I have been blessed to work with, too many in the fact to name all of them here tonight. Finally, I want to thank my friends and my childhood friends, college teammates, my teaching colleagues, school administrators that are here tonight, my AD, and all the past and present players that are here tonight, who have made such an impact of my life. And thank you all for a great night.
Well, Wanted to make sure Coach Floyd had a chance to take those readers off before his famous presenter comes up here. Let's give a Hall of Fame welcome to Joanne Galati, a teacher and a girls basketball coach. When Tony was just a kid at Bristol Eastern, she not only hired him, but he still proudly credits her with having the greatest influence on both his teaching and coaching careers. There's a great team, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations. You know, as you go through the pages of a book, for me, every once in a while, you know, you kind of think you're into the meat of it and you've kind of got the flow and all. And you get to a particular chapter that's like a gift, a surprise. And honestly, with all respect, I have to say, I think you'll like the surprise very much. Ladies and gentlemen, our next inductee, Barbara Thaxton, was the first girls basketball head coach at Wilbur-Cross High School in New Haven. Where her teams there won 3 consecutive, not just 3, but 3 consecutive Connecticut state championships, and that was in 1978, 1979, and 1980. 2 of her players, Tracy Claxton and Karen Drawn, earned All-American honors and eventually led their own college teams to NCAA Final Fours. How about that? Barbara continued to teach and coach at Wilbur-Cross and was also an assistant coach at Wesleyan before moving on to Old Dominion University and a national championship in 1985. Barbara's career included positions at the University of Pennsylvania, the University of Southern California, the University of California at Berkeley, and the University of South Carolina. She was chosen as one of the first 5 coaches on the first ever assistant coaches speaking panel at the Final Four and was later hired as a talent scout by the WNBA. There's obviously a long and treasured story, and we can only just be grateful for this Chapter 6. Please welcome Barbara Thaxton.
Thank you very much. And I would like to thank Linda Worcester and her committee for choosing me as one of the 2018 Hall of Famers. And I would like to also congratulate the other Hall of Famers for the class of 2018. I'm proud to be a part of you. Connecticut has played a major role in my success as a coach and remains close to my heart. I began my coaching career at Wilbur-Cross High School in New Haven in 1974 as their first girls basketball coach. And it is great to see players and parents in attendance from the 1974 through my stay here in 1982. My teams at Wilbur-Cross each contributed to the success of Wilbur-Cross High School. It didn't matter whether you were a state champion, you were a member of a team that helped build a great program. And I thank you. We won 3 consecutive state championships, and I would also like to recognize my chosen assistant coach at Wilbur-Cross when I became the head coach, Eleanor Turner. In the summer of 1982, I left Wilbercross heavy heart, but one of my goals had always been to coach on the collegiate level at a Division I program. And Marianne Stanley, who was the head coach at Old Dominion, hired me as one of her assistant coaches. So I accepted the job at Old Dominion in 1982. In 1983, we went to the Final Four for the NCAAs, and in 1985, we returned to the Final Four for the NCAAs and won the national championship. And those of you from Connecticut and especially New Haven and Wilbercross have to be extremely proud that our MVP for the 1985 NCAA championship was one of your team members, Tracy Claxton, who scored over 2,000 points and 2,000 rebounds for us at Old Dominion. We later left Old Dominion and went to the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia, and it was quite an experience working with the Ivy Leaguers, but Palestra was great. From University of Pennsylvania, we headed west and went to the University of Southern California in Los Angeles, and had great players at USC as well. After leaving USC, we went to the University of California, Berkeley, in Berkeley, California, which was north of Southern Cal. And we enjoyed our years there. I later went to the University of South Carolina, and I'm originally from South Carolina, so it was great to go back home. My mom was quite pleased. After retiring from basketball as a coach, I was hired by the WNBA to be a talent scout for possible players to play in the WNBA. And I enjoyed traveling the country looking at different collegiate players. After the WNBA, one additional thing that I really enjoyed doing, besides winning championships at Wilbercross, at Old Dominion, was we went to Africa, to Kenya, and we did camps for 2 weeks in Nairobi. It was great because it was for the Hoops of Africa in 2005, and I had fellow coaches that were there, as well as NBA players and WNBA players. And I think you all would be proud of the fact that these young girls and boys were excited to have us in Africa. And one of the things that we demanded of them, because AIDS was such a problem in Africa, is that they could come to the clinics free. And we brought uniforms, we brought sneakers, we brought everything, basketballs, we brought it all to them. But they had to agree to take these tests, and they did. And one of my favorite stories is that we were going into one of the facilities, and one of the boys' basketball teams was there. And we were outfitting them on the bus with sneakers. And everyone received a pair of sneakers except for one young man, and he looked so saddened. So I looked at his coach, and I said, "What size of shoe does he wear?" And he said, "Why, Coach?" I said, "Because I think he wears the same size shoe I wear." So tell him to meet me inside of the gym, and I will give him the shoes that I have on. And he said, Coach, you don't have to do that. I say, look, Nike has been our sponsor for years, and I have many other pairs of shoes at the hotel. He can have these. The young man was absolutely pleased, and I was pleased, even though I had to walk around in sock feet to officiate games. He was pleased, and I don't know whether you've ever been to Africa before, but if you do anything for one of these kids, they are so grateful, and they call every lady Mama. So he came over to me, gave me a hug, and said, thank you, Mama. I can play now. I say, you certainly can play. For all of these memories, I would like to say to the Rivercross family how much I appreciated you. I appreciated you when I coached you, even though you wouldn't take math from me, but I appreciated you as your coach. And I would like for you to stand. I want everybody to recognize that we have players here from the 1974 team through the 1982. So please stand, and parents. And Eleanor, thank you very much. I would also have other people I would like to thank. I would like to thank Marianne Stanley, who is here with me this evening, who is a Naismith, as you know, Hall of Famer, and has had many accomplishments. Thanks, Marianne. I would like to thank my son's best friend in North Haven from elementary school, junior high school, and they separated in college. John went to Williams, and my son went to Amherst. Thanks, John, for attending tonight. He's now the CEO of Webster Bank. And last but not least, from my most love to my children, who were always supportive of me in everything I did as far as coaching, coming to my games, eating late dinners, having lots of McDonald's and Burger King, but they were my soul. They were the ones who held me up all the time, no matter what happened. So my oldest son flew in from Maryland. I'd like for he and my granddaughter, his daughter, Haley, to please stand. My other son, Michael, his wife, Gina, and daughter, Grace, please stand. They flew in from California. And the youngest of the crew, my daughter, Monique, flew in along with me from Raleigh this morning. So I'm pleased to have you here. It's great to have two of the grandchildren, Grace and Haley, here, and the other three, because of academics, could not be here tonight because my oldest grandson is a senior at East Carolina, so it's most important that he stays with the academics. And my granddaughter, Monique's daughter, Sanaa, is a very good volleyball player, and she has been playing at tournaments all over the country for the last few months, so she needed to stay. AP classes were calling. And my youngest grandson is Jonah, who lives in California, and because he plays basketball as well as a good student, he could not come. So everybody's priorities were in place, and I want to thank everyone for being here tonight, and I hope you enjoyed your evening.
You see, I told you Chapter 6 held a lot of surprises. And look who's here, back to the Hall of Fame. Another proud member, Tracy Claxton, of whom Barbara spoke so well, a member of her state championship team at Wilbur Cross, and a member of Barbara's national championship team at Old Dominion. Welcome back, Tracy. Congratulations, Barbara. The best part of a good book is that it holds you right till the end, right? Right till the end. And there is no short supply here of wanting to stick around for chapter 7. Ladies and gentlemen, a 3-time All-State point guard at Torrington High School, Sarah led her team to 3 league titles and a semifinal finish in the Class L tournament. She averaged 17.8 points, 5.2 assists, 4 rebounds, and almost 4 steals per game during all 4 years. Nicely done. That was nice. Okay, she got the whole thing rounded out, and at this moment, she still holds the Torrington career record with points scored. Her total was 1,606 points. As a player at the University of Albany, she scored 1,006 points, was a 2-time captain, and is still the all-time leader in assists. It's my pleasure, and I hope you'll join me in welcoming Chapter 7, Sarah Royals.
All right, well, thanks for saving me for last. I appreciate it. Not really, just kidding. First of all, congratulations to all the other inductees this evening, and thank you to all the past inductees that have been here and coming out to support us, so I really appreciate everyone being here. Thank you to the committee for the nomination. It's really a great honor for myself, my school, my family, my organization. It really means a lot, and I would also like to thank my brother and sister officials from Board 7 that surprised me and didn't tell me they were coming. It's really nice to have them out here supporting, and you know, we're up there in the northwest corner, so if anyone wants to come visit, it's still cold up there. I'd like to thank all of my coaches at Torrington High School. Mike Fritsch wasn't able to be here today, but I do appreciate all his help in helping me excel and guiding me through the 4 years at Torrington High. I would like to thank Mark Williams and Keith McClendon and all of the entire Spirit organization for helping me get to where I am. Yeah, go Spirit. Thank you for persuading me to return home for my final 2 years of AAU. I certainly would have a different future if it weren't for the Spirit, so I really appreciate them. Also, I also played for the Starters for a year, and my whole family's in that middle row over there, so thank you to Vinny, Brian, Joe, and Fred, and the rest of the Starters organization. I also have a few other coaches here. Candy Perez is also here. She, no one here is probably from the northwest corner, but she ran a youth camp for, I don't even know, 15 years or so, and it really helped a lot of the people in my generation in the northwest corner with just general basketball skills and a lot of things that's definitely currently missing in the current generation. So I really appreciate all of her help. I would also like to just thank my family in general. There aren't enough words to say what I'm actually feeling. Jody and Donald, thank you for taking dozens of trips to Torrington and Albany and Florida and Maine and everywhere else you guys decided to show up without letting me know. And thank you for continuing to support me in every aspect of my life. Colin, unfortunately, you never got to see me play, but I know that you would have been there in the front row with the rest of my family at every game if you could have been there. I would like to thank my sisters. If you guys have siblings, you know that they're the most important part of your life, and you wouldn't be who you are today without them. They supported me through every level of play, through middle school, through AAU, through high school, through college, and they were by far my biggest fans, although they are both significantly shorter than me. Thank you for all practicing with me and rebounding with me, and Jennifer specifically, I know it seems like a big deal now, but I used to get ridiculed for wearing orange shoes, and now it's a big thing. But Jennifer was one of the pioneers of the movement, as well as my father, so thank you for helping me with my identity. Michelle, my middle sister, can't be here today, but she's out in California. Thank you for always setting the bar high, and I always had somebody to look up to, and always wanted to be better than her, and I did hopefully eventually get there, but she was super supportive of me, and like I said, my final years in school and college, they made the trips. They went to Duke, they went to Michigan, they went to California, and they literally traveled all across the country to see me play. To my mother and father, thank you for everything, for all the driving and the sacrifices and coming to every game. I was just talking with my father, and I played in all 131 games of my career at Albany, and he was at 121 of those games. Yeah, that's a lot of games. Thank you for making me strong and tough, and instilling me with the work ethic and attitude that earned me a scholarship at the University of Albany. To my mom, thank you for always having my back and sacrificing your time for all of your children's athletic career. You were our team doctor and the hair police for everyone on the team, telling them to wear headbands when they were touching their hair, and just always telling me to be tough. And no matter how many times I rolled an ankle, you would always tell me, "Do you want to go to the doctor? And then he can tell you you can't play, and then what?" And I said, no, okay, I'll keep going, tape it up, and then I have my team doctor also right here that would tape my ankles and keep me going. And then to my dad, thank you for all the hours in the gym and rebounding and beating me up and sharing your passion for basketball with me. It's really an honor to get to coach and ref with you. I'm really happy that you're also here to present me with my award today. And I think it's my duty as the last speaker to leave on a positive note. So if I had any advice, I would say that you should give back to the sport you love. It doesn't have to be just basketball. It could be soccer. I know we have officials and coaches of volleyball and softball, and everyone here trying to get me to referee volleyball. You guys are out here. But I mean, we're in need of officials, women officials especially. So if you, love the game and you'd like to continue, basketball doesn't have to stop when you leave college or when you leave high school. There are other ways to give back. So please go join a board, go Board 7. And if not, there are young boys and girls out there in need of role models and coaches. So you should just do everything you can to give back, because I think it's a crime to have knowledge and not share it. Basketball has given me more than I could ever give back to it, but if you can find somewhere, your local youth organizations, whatever sport it is, you should continue. And, we would like to fill these seats around us for the next 31 years with, valuable people. So thank you, and enjoy your night.
What a beautiful way for her to bring all of this last chapter together. And what a better person to do it with than her dad, Raymond. Remember, Sarah says that without him, her career would have been average at best. But Sarah does give more than a nod for her success than to her dad. She also says it wouldn't have happened without her mom and her sisters. Congratulations, Sarah. And before I give this back to Marge, I would just welcome any of you who would like to return next year to read another story. Please join us.
We're almost done, ladies and gentlemen. Anthony, Candido, where are you? Come on up here. We're going to have one of the Anderson kids pull the winning ticket? Yeah. While we're doing that, I would like all of the members of the nominating committee and the executive committee who made this night happen, please stand, and everybody give them a nice round of applause, please. I just want one ticket. Okay, the ticket is worth $365. All right, which one of you is going to pull it? Do you want to read it?
5, 2, 8, 1, 2, 9.
Okay, no, we can't read another one. It's 50-50 raffle. No way. Oh my God. Wow.
See, you came for a reason.
Yeah, his father? That was his father?
No, that's my friend.
Oh, that's very cool. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Safe trip home. We hope to see you right back here next year. Congratulations, everyone.